going to begin with a live look outside the courtroom in Lower Manhattan. After more than an hour of instructions from Judge Jean Merchan, jurors left the courtroom just about 30 minutes ago.
The judge asked the jury to put aside any preconceived notions they have of former President Trump and treat him as just another member of the community. He also told the jury they can only convict if they are sure beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump is guilty.
Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg outside court this afternoon with details. Lauren?
Right, deliberations are now underway, but of course those jury instructions happen for about an hour or so. Judge Juan Merchan explaining the law as it relates to this case. And we understand that Donald Trump is charged with falsifying business records, but it's more than involved in that. That doesn't just involve causing those records to be created. It also involves doing so with the intent to defraud, and that includes an intent to commit another crime. The prosecution, by the way, doesn't have to prove that the other crime was committed. So it is complicated, it is nuanced, and this jury has a lot of work ahead of them.
For 6 weeks, they listened to witnesses, attorneys, and the judge. Now jurors are listening and talking to each other, sifting through the testimony, the evidence, and the two competing narratives about former President Donald Trump. They are the first jury to ever consider criminal charges against a former president. Yesterday, they listened to 8 hours of closing arguments. The defense gave its version of the case first, saying there was no crime. Michael Cohen billed Trump for legal expenses. It was business as usual. And that Cohen had an axe to grind and is also the gloat. He's literally the greatest liar of all time. Defense lawyer Todd Blanche also attacked Stormy Daniels' story of a sexual encounter with Trump, saying the $130,000 hush money payoff ended very well for her. The prosecution's closing lasted 5 hours. Joshua Steinglass calling the case a conspiracy and a cover-up and a fraud on American voters. Steinglass suggested if Trump was concerned about Daniels' story of a tryst coming out and upsetting his family, he could have bought her silence years earlier. Instead, Steinglass argued Trump worried that a sex scandal with a porn star could threaten his presidential chances. Trump is charged with falsifying 34 business records in order to cover up reimbursements to Cohen for the hush money payments he made to Daniels. Jurors could reach a guilty verdict, a not guilty verdict, a mixed verdict in which they find Trump guilty on some counts but not all, and there's also a possibility of a hung jury in which they can't reach unanimity on any counts.
Chris?
Now, Donald Trump has long maintained his innocence. He also says that he never even had a sexual encounter with Stormy Daniels. He has said that this trial has been rigged from the get-go. He just spoke a short time ago as jurors began their deliberations. Take a listen.
In listening to the charges from the judge, who's, as you know, very conflicted and corrupt, because of the confliction, very, very corrupt. Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged. The whole country's a mess between the borders and fake elections, and you have a trial like this where the judge is so conflicted he can't breathe. He's got to do his job, and it's not for me, that I can tell you. It's a disgrace, and I mean that. Mother Teresa could not beat those charges, but we'll see.
Now, in this case against Donald Trump, the jury has to find guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the highest standard. And the judge today told jurors, quote, "You should not surrender an honest view of the evidence simply because you want the trial to end or because you're outvoted."